In Solo Leveling Episode 7, after the battle of Sung Jinwoo with Kargalgan, Jinwoo erected him as his new Shadow Soldier by introducing a new shadow rank called Elite Knight. But after that, we saw that all his Riz got revealed in front of other hunters and the surveillance team from the Hunter Association. And after that, we straight jumped to Jinwoo's evaluation part, where we saw many reporters on the outside the Hunter Association, and just then 2 cars arrived at the scene, and it turns out they were Baek Yoon-ho and Choi Jong-in, who were there for Sung Jinwoo's reevaluation, but they both got surprised by seeing all these reporters and don't know what's happening. Where one reporter asks, "Have you come to the Hunters Association to recruit Mr. Lee Min-sung?" Another asks, "Do you think Mr. Lee will retire from show business?" And so on. Well, Baek was getting irritated by these questions and thinking that they are here for some guy named Lee Min-sung. Then he replies to the reporters that we're not here for that, and where Choi says that Mr. Lee has already signed a contract with the Fiend Guild. It's already common knowledge among industry people. Anyway, we're here today for something else, where all reporters' expectations got crushed at the spot, realizing that they got hyped for nothing. And then Baek asked Choi that, "I heard the Hunters Guild also had a close call yesterday," where Choi replies that at least we didn't lose an A-rank rookie like the White Tiger Guild did. Then Baek says, "Anyway, looks like both of our guilds received help from that hunter, so we are even now." And Choi says, "If it hadn't been for him, all of the elite hunters on our second-tier team would have been killed, and which is why we very much want to recruit him into our guild. It's the ethical thing to do," where Baek snaps out and says, "Our guild suffered casualties, so we must enhance our forces. Wouldn't it make more sense for us to recruit him?" Then Choi, in anger, says, "Why do you need to enhance your forces with an S-rank hunter? Are you trying to start a war or something?" Then another person appears, and it turns out to be Lim Tae-gyu, an S-rank hunter and the master of the Fiend Guild, where he says, "What's happening here? Are you guys bickering over Min-sung right now?" Then both of them shout at him and say, "I don't give a damn about Lee Min-sung or whatever his name is." Where Lim got confused and thought, "What happened to you two?" But then on the backstage, we saw Jinwoo's arrival on the scene, where he thinks, "Why here are so many people?" Then we saw Jinna's school scene, where her classmates were getting fake Riz from the Lee Min-sung on the live broadcast. But as expected from Jinwoo's sister, she's ignoring it cause she's capable of recognizing people with fake Riz. Then we get to see fake Rizzer Lee Min-sung outside the Hunter Association, where he was giving his no Riz speech to the reporters like, "At the time I've awakened, I've been troubled, but now I've made my decision that I'll follow my heart and take the evaluation and become a hunter," and some more garbage talk. But soon we get to see the true side, where states that I've already been evaluated as a rank hunter and says that this is all a play to get more fame and money. But then we saw Jinwoo trying to get inside the building for his evaluation. But Min-sung's bodyguard stops him and says, "Can't you see all these reporters here? You can't just walk past them," where Jinwoo tells him that I have an appointment here, where the bodyguard says that the entrance is blocked right now, so go back. And here, Min-sung was in thoughts that who the hell is this moron? I wish security would just kick him out. But just then, Hunter Association's chairman Go Gun-hee came out and said, "Who told you that he's not allowed here?" And said that this gentleman is my guest, and tells Min-sung that I told you not to hold a press conference here at this time, didn't I? Where fake Rizzer doesn't have anything to say. And then he escorted Jinwoo inside the building. And Min-sung was very angry, thinking, how dare he steal my spotlight, while the reporters were shocked by what happened and who was that guy? And where Min-sung says, "Don't worry, I'll go and check on it." But soon then, he got blocked by Jin-chul, stating that he can't go inside because someone else is undergoing a re-evaluation already, so till that, the entry is prohibited, where Min-sung tries to show his fake Riz to Jin-chul and tries to warn him. But our Terminator is built differently, so he doesn't care, and then he told Min-sung to piss off. After that, we saw Jinwoo walking with Garp for the evaluation test, where we get to see Baek and Choi showing some manners, and they were waiting to recruit Jinwoo in their guild. Then we saw the evaluation process, where the evaluator asked RIZWOO about his abilities, where Jinwoo summons one of his shadow soldiers. But then Go says, "Don't play dumb, boy. We've already found out the reality. Just show everything you got." Where then Jinwoo decides to reveal all his Riz and fills the whole room with his shadow soldiers, which makes everyone fall in love with him. And the Riz waves were so powerful that even Choi and Baek got stunned by it, which makes Baek think that he got more Riz than me. And after the various other tests, Jinwoo finally got his new hunter license as an S-rank hunter, where Jinwoo thinks, now I can finally go for the shopping. And as he was planning to go for sales, he encountered Choi and Beck, congratulating Jinwoo for becoming an S rank, but he just ignored them and kept on going for the shopping. But as soon as he opened the door, the whole media was getting on him, taking photos of the newly awakened Korea's 10th S rank hunter. And not just that, we saw his sister, Jinya, finally founding the real Riz of his brother. And we even saw the mining group and the trash talker getting shocked by Jinwoo's S rank announcement. We also saw Joo-hee, Mr. Song, and our sniffy girl reacting to the news. Back to the scene, we saw all reporters getting hyped by the news, and seeing fake Rizzer getting ignored by the people around him, which he totally deserves. Then we saw Jinho having a hit chat with his father about how he failed to recruit Jinwoo in his guild, where as a true friend, Jinwoo decides to follow Jinwoo. But his father was not very happy about it, and says that it's a very selfish decision, and says that I entrusted Yujin Guild to you, and I had a lot of expectations from you, but you're a disappointment. And despite everything his father said, Jinwoo still decides to follow Jinwoo. Now that's true friendship. Then we saw Jinwoo in the spotlight, where Beck told him that dealing with them is a pain, so let us escort you home. But then Jinwoo still decides to show his Riz and said, that won't be necessary, and then teleported to a different spot and started walking, where Choi got amazed by his physical abilities, despite being a mage-type hunter. Meanwhile, Beck got traumatized by what he just saw and thought that he was so fast that my eyes can't even keep up on him, and he felt that he's even more stronger than before. But despite everything happening, Jinwoo was still focused on his shopping, and straight reaches the hunter auction for some juicy artifacts. But it was way too expensive for him, but then the manager said that if he's able to break this glass, then he can have it for free. And just before him completing the sentence, Jinwoo took the stance, but sadly he didn't do it because the manager stopped him. Then he tries to find the worth of his own daggers, where he showed them the Night Killer, and the employee was amazed by seeing it, said, I can tell that it's created by a highly skilled craftsman. Where Jinwoo was thinking, nah man, I just bought it from the in-game store. And then the employee reveals its price up to 1 billion, which totally shocked Jinwoo because he just bought it for 1.8 million golds from the shop, and realizes that if these store daggers are worth this much, then I don't have to sell the Avarice Orb. Then we saw Beck again, who was still traumatized by Jinwoo's Riz, and thinks that how can a hunter keep getting stronger, and then doubts that is he a hunter who can keep leveling up. Then we saw Jinna getting a relief that there are no reports today outside, and tells Jinwoo to behave properly while be on TV. Jinwoo, ignoring it all, tells her that starting tomorrow I'll be out for a week. But Jinna wasn't happy with that. But then someone arrives on Jinwoo's doorstep, and it turns out to be Jinyo, who got kicked out by his father and decides to stay at his home for some time. But then Jinwoo uses him as an excuse and says, starting tomorrow, I'm taking this guy to work with me for a week, where forces Jinyo to play with the situation. Then we got a scene of Jinwoo adding some protection to Jinna by using shadow orcs. But then Jinwoo realized that Tusk should have 4 guards. Then why are there only 3 of you? Where the orcs remind him how he wasn't able to extract the shadow of the 4th one because he got stuck on the ceiling. But Jinwoo ignores that and tells them to protect his sister from now on. Then he added some more public safety around his society. No doubt Jinwoo took the 2-step verification very seriously. But then we saw a teasing glimpse of Ant Fairy in the sky. Then we switched to the scene where Jinwoo was taking Jinwoo to his destination, where Jinwoo asked him, what will you do now? You didn't have to run away from home. Where Jinwoo replies that this is my way to cut the ties with my family. Then he asks Jinwoo, where are you going for a week? Where Jinwoo says that you can call it a training, which shocked Jinwoo that he still wants to become stronger even after becoming an S rank. But only we know that our boy has no limits. And then we saw Jinwoo inside the demon castle once again, with being geared up for the upcoming threats on the upper floors, where he saw his new quest of defeating the demon monarch Baron on the highest floor and collecting his soul. Then the scene switches to Jinhoo's father, who faints on the spot, and when he wakes up, he finds himself in the hospital and gets to know that he got struck by the internal slumber virus, just Jinwoo's mother, which happened due to staying too close to mana power or an awakened hunter, and yep, it's Jinwoo. And then he starts thinking that, is this really the end for me? Then the scene switches to a seaside, where a few hunters encounter something which appears to be an enormous ant walking on the road, and left us in suspense. After that, we get back to the demon castle, where we saw Jinwoo encountering a giant demon, where he then summons Tusk and gives him the Avarice Orb for a power-up. And then Tusk uses the Hymn of Fire Dragon and blasts through the city along with the giant demon. He then makes 6 teams of shadows to clear the floor quickly, but then he realizes that his shadows are getting destroyed one by one. He then takes the charge to find out who's behind this and encounters some demon knights who were a lot stronger than the shadows. But in front of Jinwoo, they didn't even last for seconds, and then only one was left, who got very scared by sensing the heavy riz from him, and where Jinwoo smiles at her by giving a bloodlust stance, and the episode ended. This episode was so amazing that it only felt like a few minutes for me, and yeah, in this episode all we saw was Riz, and Jinwoo's power getting revealed to the world was something I was eagerly waiting for. And finally, Jinwoo has entered the demon castle, and from here the real hype will begin. I hope you like my yapping throughout this whole video, and if you did, please drop a like and subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see y'all in the next video.